Hey everyone, how's it going? Here's a little update of what's going on for the plans of this weekend. Went through, rewrapped the whole engine wiring harness. I'm letting it run right now to see if there's any leaks from the fuel pressure regulator because I relocated it. I accidentally hit the oil pressure gauge little hard line down here. So I'm making sure that's not leaking. But other than that, everything looks pretty good. Cleared up a lot in this engine bay. I had to redo this plug because for some strange reason, the one that was on it, the metal tab on the inside, wasn't big enough to allow 200 amps worth of current to run through it. So it was getting hot right here, and on this point. But down on the inside where it actually attaches to the alternator, that wasn't getting hot. So it was a problem up inside here. Swapped it out to a shorter one. Now I have no problem with it. And this is another thing. Look how smooth this engine runs. That's a smooth running engine. And it's about, now that the RPM's dropped, getting some temps in it. See, and before, my voltage gauge was right between the 12 and 14 at idle. When I had the problem with that alternator, I swapped that out. Now it's at 14 volts at idle. And my idle's 1,000, 1,100. Because you touch the gas, and it goes down to 750. Touch the gas again, goes back up. Main reason why it's doing that because I need to clean the throttle body plates. But other than that, everything seems to be pretty good. Now you can see how smooth it really does run. That is a smooth running engine. It's actually solid mounted too. Solid motor mounts and tranny mounts. But what's pretty much going on. I'm looking at getting a new radiator because this one's starting to get clogged up. It's starting to overheat, and last time it did this, I flushed it out. It worked perfectly fine up for a couple months, and it started getting clogged again. So it's time for a new radiator. I can get this same exact one for O'Reilly's for $175 with a lifetime warranty, which is a brass tub copper core, which are supposedly better than aluminum, but it's kind of hit and miss. Aluminum technology and the actual technology for radiators being made out of aluminum is a lot better than these. So I'm going to try a dual pass radiator, so the tanks will be on the side. It'll go in through the top half, go down, and then go back through before it hits the return. So it'll be a dual pass, dual core radiator. That might work a little bit better, but it's a 50-50 gamble. When I had my other aluminum radiator inside of it that was the same exact style as this one is, tubs top and bottom, it actually ran at like 200 degrees and 180 on the hot side on the return, or 180 on the return, 200 degrees on the hot side. I put this radiator inside of it. I'm at 180 to 190 on the hot side and 150 to 160 on the return. So that actually shows that brass does cool better than aluminum. But it's kind of a 50-50 gamble. For the price of what this is new, you can get a coil rad radiator, which are supposed to be top of the line. But at the same time, I've seen so many people run those and have their engines take a crap on them, where I personally put this radiator back in and noticed this runs better than almost any aftermarket radiator out there on the market. As long as it's brass and copper, that cools better than aluminum. If you do the research on it, you'll find out that that is true, but brass and copper usually cost 2 to 3 times the amount of aluminum, so that's why they make them out of aluminum. That's why if you scrap an aluminum radiator, you get 20, 30 bucks, but you scrap that damn thing, you're getting 50 to 100 bucks. But it seems to be running pretty good. It's not overheating. My water reservoir. It was at like 3/4. Still at 3/4, so that's good. All the fuel lines are out of the way, so they shouldn't get heated up. That's why I got aluminum tape wrapped over them. It's pretty much what it looks like for now. can actually see the engine a lot better. Run about 48, 50 psi. Other than that, seems to be pretty good. A little update on what's going on with the rear end. I bought a Mazda Miata hub, a 2006 to 2012 or 2013 Miata hub, which is the same hub diameter for the spindle, same bearing, same everything, but there is one thing that changes on it that I didn't know until I'm staring at it. This hub bore is bigger on the Miata. So I either got to drill out these rotors to 72 millimeters so it can actually slide over the hub on the inside of this, or I can go to a big brake conversion, which is still an OEM conversion, but it's a big brake. I'll go for the 93 to 96 RX7 FD, which has a 16-inch rim, and the rotor is 294 millimeters, where this one is 230 millimeters. So I'll have a bigger rotor on it. It'll still use the same brake caliper, same pads, just I got to go on righthandjapan.com, the website, and they sell a bracket conversion that moves this brake caliper up a little bit higher so you can run the FD rotor, and that will fill in this gap right inside here. So I have a 294 millimeter rotor on the back, and that will fill in this gap, and then that will actually be the big brake conversion for the rear, and it'll work with the Miata hub because the bore on the FD rotors are 72 millimeters, which this needs to be. And then when it comes to the front rotors, it's Ronnie Racing or some shit like that. I can't actually remember the name. I'll try to look it up so I can actually post it in the comment or in the description on the bottom. But they sell a brake conversion kit that you actually take the OEM brake caliper, break it in half, pretty much take it apart where the seam is. You get a 1 or a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch spacer that actually spaces the caliper an inch wider, a 1/2 inch wider, and then has another bracket that moves the rotor further away. So then you run a 370Z Brembo brake kit or brake rotors, and those are 325 millimeter rotors. So that will fill in this gap all the way inside here. It'll push this brake caliper all the way out to right here and all the way out to here. So like it'll fill in this wheel well perfect. And that conversion kit for the rear, for the rotors, it's $225 for both rotors from StopTech slotted rotors. And then the brake caliper conversion, it's all in one type deal. That's $450 plus like 20 shipping, so that's not too bad. So I'll have about $700 into the front brake caliper conversion, which is still OEM. Everything you can still get from AutoZone, where all the other big brake kits are all specialty ordered. You have to buy the parts through them, and they're starting out at $2,000 and up. And on the back one, the hubs, the rotors, and the caliper brackets, I'll be in about $400 to $500 altogether for a big brake conversion for the rear. That's pretty much half the price, almost 1/4 the price of any brake conversion for what it'll cost me to do the rear and the front with StopTech slotted rotors, all high quality shit, will be the same price that it'll cost just to buy the big brake 6-piston caliper set for the front from K Sport or StopTech or Brembo or any of them. So that's my little plan on the big brake conversion, and everything that I will get on this you can actually get at AutoZone or O'Reilly on a lifetime warranty. So it's not one of those brake conversions that I know you're stuck having to buy aftermarket expensive parts. Everything is actually cheap and affordable and with lifetime warranty. So that's the whole idea on the brake kit, front and rear. I'm getting CV axles for the back. I'm getting new CV axle stubs that go to the differential for the back, and then I'm buying pretty much the clutch kit for the rear end to completely rebuild the whole limited slip clutch pack. And then after I get all of that, it's a 50-50 gamble if I'm going to go through and buy a bearing kit and rebuild the differential that's in my bedroom, or just throw that center section in with this differential, because this actually has good bearings and everything. It's just the actual limited slip part is messed up. So I can go ahead and swap the ring gear over onto the other center section that's in my room that will be rebuilt and still run these good bearings and this good ring and pinion gear set, but just replace CV axles, shafts, and internals. Kind of see what I'm talking about up in here. Also need to replace that little bushing right there. I got the polyurethane bushings for that side and the other side. Get some new CV axles, redo the diff, looks pretty. Get the Power by Max mini links to go right there. And then after I get the mini links, then I might get the actual big bar that goes across right there. Then I'm gonna get polyurethane motor mounts, tranny mounts, and differential mounts. And then I'm gonna also get the Power by Max different or subframe bracket bushings. Because I guess when you lower the car like the way I have it, it actually tilts your subframe up into a weird angle that throws your pinion angle off, to where easiest way to solve it and it doesn't throw everything off all crazy, you get that little bushing kit. It'll allow the camber to move and allow the diff to be at the proper angle, so it's not binding up everything. So that's kind of like the whole idea for the back end. That's a little bit of what's going on. Sorry for rambling. But little plans are going on in the future and what's going on now. This thing's running pretty good. This thing's loud. But it's a little update of what's going on. If you'd like to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll have more coming out. Have a good one.